And when I got in there, all I knew was make sure I come out victorious. But people don't respect the mental part about that. Like, people don't respect it. All they want to say is, oh, you were scared or you ran.
So it is not necessary, it is unnecessary to go in through that process and blame the money, because it has nothing to do with the money.
Guys like him, man, I just try to ignore them, because at the end of the day, I could really get on his ass with his business and talk about what he doing that's dumb as a motherfucker. It's a bunch of dumb shit, Mr.
Shakur Stevenson stripped of his 135 lightweight WBC crown. Hit the Tyson belt. They stripped him. He just stuck a toe.
After the biggest win of his career, Shakur Stevenson called the WBC crooks and refused to hand over $100,000. Terrence Crawford jumped in, firing shots at the organization, telling them they're still mad about what happened between them. But here's the question nobody in boxing is asking. Could Shakur actually take the WBC to court and win? The answer involves a federal lawsuit that changed boxing history, laws that protect fighters that most fans have never even heard of, and a legal precedent that proves sanctioning bodies aren't untouchable. Just days earlier, everything looked perfect for Shakur Stevenson. On January 31, 2026, inside Madison Square Garden, Shakur delivered a masterclass against Teofimo Lopez. There was no debate about it. The fight was not close at all. He set the tempo, blocked Lopez's attacks, and made the result obvious to every judge. When the night ended, Shakur walked out holding the Ring Magazine Championship, along with the WBO Junior welterweight belt, which confirmed him as a 4-division world champion and placed him among rare all-time great fighters. The prize hit. Just days later, the WBC revealed they were taking away Shakur's lightweight title.
I thoroughly don't give a shit. Listen, I thoroughly don't give a shit. And to go further, I don't think Shakur Stevenson should give one shit.
The official reason they gave was about procedure. They said fighters cannot hold titles in different weight classes under different sanctioning groups at the same time. Shakur did not accept that reasoning at all. He pushed back and accused the WBC of taking revenge because he refused to pay their $100,000 sanctioning fee for a fight they were not even part of. His message was direct and clear. Shakur said the WBC had no role in this fight from the beginning and that this situation was not a one-time thing.
Performance, a dominating performance. The WBC, in a rush to do nothing, can't give this dude a week.
Only a few months earlier, Terrence Crawford had lost his title in almost the exact same way. From Shakur team point of view, this did not feel like rule enforcement at all. It felt personal, and that is when the situation started to feel bigger than just one belt. To see why Shakur case matters, you have to rewind to 1998. That is when a German boxer named Graziano Reggiani did something nearly unheard of. He challenged the system and won. Reggiani beat Michael Nunn to capture the WBC light heavyweight title after Roy Jones Jr. gave it up. The WBC officially named Reggiani the world champion. His career changed instantly with bigger fights, more money, and worldwide attention. Then everything fell apart. Roy Jones Jr. decided he wanted the belt again. Instead of setting up a fight or following normal steps, the WBC made a shocking decision. They restored Jones as champion and told Reggiani his title run was just a typographical mistake, not a close call, not a broken rule, just a typo.
I don't give a care who they bring to me. You are welcome to come get you some. Whoever wants some can come get some. They know what to do. Call HBO, tell HBO what to tell them what you want to do. And y'all know Roy Jones Jr. bars none. Thank you.
Rock Johnny refused to accept that decision, took the WBC to a United States federal court and argued that the organization broke its own rules and damaged his ability to earn money. Sponsors left, title defenses vanished, and value dropped, but he still won the case. In July 2004, the WBC quietly settled and Rock Johnny received financial compensation, proving sanctioning bodies are not untouchable. That case also set a legal standard. This connects to the Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act passed in 1996 and expanded in 2000 to protect fighters from abuse by promoters and sanctioning groups. The law clearly states that boxing organizations often misuse their power and are legally defined as boxing service providers with duties around transparency, disclosures, and fees. They must explain their actions before taking money or stripping titles. Belts are not just trophies, they are economic assets. If Shakur Stevenson argues the WBC stripped him as punishment for refusing to pay a fee or ignored its own rules, he could seek protection under federal law. If this issue ever reaches a courtroom, it would not only affect Shakur but could challenge how boxing power works today, and his legal team would have real options to pursue.
Recently shared that open letter with the boxing community regarding the Muhammad Ali Act. For all the fans watching, why is this issue so important right now?
Well, there's a lot of confusion, very unfortunate concern around the boxing community, unnecessary attacks, unnecessary noise that has been created.
The first issue is breach of contract. If Shakur had an active relationship with the WBC through rankings or participation, the organization may have broken that agreement by stripping him without proper process. Often focus on whether groups followed their own timelines and notice rules, not just whether they had authority. Another issue is tortious interference, which directly affects money. A championship is not symbolic. It controls fight pay, sponsorship value, television points, and global appeal. By removing the title, the WBC may have harmed Shakur's ability to secure top-level fights. A third argument involves rule violations. As seen in the Rock Johnny case, the key question is not whether the music WBC has rules but whether it followed them. If their rules required a waiting period, review, or clear standards and those steps were skipped, that matters legally. There is also the problem of uneven enforcement. Why are some champions given months or even years to move divisions or settle disputes while Shakur lost his title in just days?
And in reality, there is no one that can claim to own the sport. No organization, no league, no boxer, no champion, no one person. Boxing is a great sport, it's a worldwide sport, and it belongs to the boxers and to the...
Courts treat selective enforcement as a serious issue, especially when actions appear personal or retaliatory. There is also restraint of trade, which is clearly mentioned in federal boxing law. Congress warned that sanctioning bodies must not limit a fighter's ability to earn through unfair competitive behavior. When you add clear financial losses, this stops being only a boxing argument. It becomes a business case, and legal experts agree on one thing: this situation would not be new. Fighters have challenged sanctioning bodies before, and in some cases they have won. But the strongest part of Shakur's possible case comes next. This is where things become uncomfortable for the WBC, because the most powerful argument Shakur could use is not emotional at all. It is based on numbers and measurable impact.
Dude, Shakur has told the world, I'm 135 pounds. I plan on competing at 135 unless there's a situation that presents itself.
Boxing fans have seen many champions keep their titles while chasing bigger fights. Some moved up in weight without being stripped. Others delayed mandatory defenses for years. In many cases, the WBC allowed exemptions, extensions, or exceptions. So why was Shakur treated differently? That question raises the double standard argument. If the WBC applied its rules strictly for some and loosely for others, a court could see that as arbitrary decision-making, which judges take very seriously. Shakur openly said he believed the WBC was targeting him because of issues with Terrence Crawford, saying in effect, "You have a problem with butt, so you are coming after me." If this claim can be supported by timelines, communications, or enforcement patterns, it changes the story completely. Then the stripping would look less like governance and more like retaliation. Courts are far less likely to protect organizations that punish selectively, especially when it impacts a fighter's livelihood. Even with a strong case, the path forward would not be simple. Despite Shakur's potential leverage, real obstacles could stop a lawsuit before it moves forward.
One of the biggest reasons is that Shakur has always said, I want to go up to fight Teo, but I want to come back down to 135. So basically, he's almost telling the WBC, let me go up there, I will come back down. And with what the WBC are going through right now, and this battle with Zuffa, where, you know, they've got some real big players and power over there, and they're saying F the belts, and WBC are fighting, saying none of the belts mean...
The WBC's first defense would be their rule book. They would claim their regulations clearly forbid holding titles in different weight classes under separate organizations, and that Shakur knowingly broke those rules. Equally important, their bylaws give them full discretion over championship enforcement. That rule exists to protect the organization from legal challenges. Another issue is jurisdiction. The WBC is based in Mexico, works internationally, and sanctions fights in many countries. Deciding where a lawsuit could be filed would be complicated and heavily disputed. There's also the practical side: money and time. Federal lawsuits are expensive. Legal costs could reach hundreds of thousands or more. History shows these cases move slowly. The Rock Johnny lawsuit lasted for years. Shakur is in his prime as a fighter. Every year in court is a year not spent growing his legacy in the ring. There's also the chance that any financial recovery might not cover the legal expense.
The last thing you want to do is have a public spat, a public back and forth with one of the biggest names in boxing right now. Now, Shakur Stevenson is one of the biggest names in boxing. And the thing about Shakur as well, you pissed him off, this guy will go straight to social media and make it known that he's pissed off. And that's what he's done. He's made it known what the WBC are wanting, or wanted for him, or from him, sorry, which was 100,000.
From the WBC side, they would say they acted within their authority, followed their own procedures, and enforced rules that fighters agree to when joining their rankings. Legal experts familiar with boxing disputes mostly agree on one thing: very few of these cases reach a jury. Most lawsuits against sanctioning bodies are settled quietly behind closed doors, often to avoid setting a legal precedent other fighters could use. Experts note that the Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act gives fighters more power than they often realize, especially regarding disclosures, fees, and consistent enforcement. Several law firms now openly advertise experience representing fighters against sanctioning bodies, something rare decades ago. In a recent federal case in 2023, a professional boxer received $1.3 million after showing economic harm from unfair practices. Still, experts are cautious. Shakur may have reason to challenge the decision, but lawsuits are risky, expensive, and unpredictable. Some attorneys suggest filing formal complaints with state athletic commissions or the Association of Boxing Commissions. These options are less costly but do not have the immediate effect of a lawsuit. The question remains, would suing actually help Shakur or just make him a problem no sanctioning body wants to face? Beyond that, the timing matters. The boxing world is changing. Dana White and Zuffa Boxing are openly challenging the old model, and Terrence Crawford walked away instead of continuing to pay sanctioning fees.
They ain't gonna tell me, I ain't even tell. Apologize? Like, who the fuck you think I am? Boy, you better slap your fucking self and paying your ass shit. Fuck you talking.
More fighters are now openly asking where their money goes and why. The old system depended on silence and compliance, and that silence is finally breaking. If Shakur sued and won, it wouldn't just be about his belt. It could force sanctioning bodies to enforce rules fairly, disclose fees clearly, and rethink how much control they really have. Of course, another possibility exists. The system could resist, isolate fighters who push back, and continue as usual. Either way, things are shifting and fighters have more leverage and information than ever before. That brings us to the final point. Legally, Shakur Stevenson likely has a case strong enough to challenge the decision. History shows it can be done. Federal law protects fighters in situations like this, but the practical costs are high. Time, money, career progress, and the risk of being sidelined in a sport that still relies on connections. For now, Shakur's strategy seems clear. Apply public pressure, use social media, rely on Terrence Crawford's credibility, and force the issue into the open. Maybe that is the real point. The question is not just whether Shakur should sue, but whether boxing can continue operating this way without someone eventually forcing change in court. And this time the whole world is watching.